I'm going to pull on YouTube here. Hi, YouTube. Alright. So, we're in normal stream time. It is a good Friday today. I figured I wanted to do something a little different today. I don't know if anyone's going to hop in for this or not, but I figured I would give my personal rundown on, like, matchups for specifically... I'll do specifically Toon Link for now. Later, I'll do stuff for, like, Lucina or, like, some of my other mains I do play. But this is probably going to get updated the more I play and the more, like, the seasons come up in the future. I just kind of want to make this series just to see, like, how my perspective has changed over the years. So let's start with this one, and then we'll move on with the future and stuff. I do, however, have a nice setup for this. I gotta give shoutouts to Ultimate Smash Tier List. Oh, it's just smashtierlist.com for Ultimate, for, like, having the website and everything to make this. So, thanks to that. Thanks to whoever made this. It says DeBuzz. I assume that's who made it. So, but yeah, thank you so much, because this is a great website. I managed to get it all nice and set up, so we have the cool profile photos that they have in the top right in the background. So there we go. And all right, this is the tier list. This is it. All of it is ranked, so it's a little backwards ranked. So I'll give an example. It goes with 90 to 10 and 70 to 30. It's easiest to hardest. And then from here on out, it is hardest to easiest going forward. I know it's a little too transparent kind of for some of these. And you'll notice just because of the chroma key and stuff, like Little Mac, for example, here has his mitts and stuff off. But bear with me with some of that. This will probably get fixed in the future. Just right now, we're going to work with what we got. All right? So, I would like to start going down and moving on up, because I feel that's probably the easiest way to explain this. So, the numbers, by the way, is like the percent rates of my win rate versus the other opponent's win rate. So 90-10 means 90% of the time I'm probably going to win that matchup, with the 10% being an exception. So, to start pretty easy, let's start with Little Mac here. So Little Mac in general, I typically do not have that bad time against Little Mac. Holden is like the very minimal exception to that. He is like the only Little Mac I know that has ever like truly beaten me. And my brother Cody sometimes plays Little Mac with hyper aggressive, but anytime I fought a Little Mac online, or anytime I fought a Little Mac outside of that, or like in arenas and stuff, it is typically goes down to this. On stage, they're amazing. They do great. The problem is if they get hit by one projectile by me, that is full combo for me to take them off stage. And then once they're off stage, I can immediately utilize my abilities to just, like, I could just throw a boomerang at them to cancel side B, and I drop down to hit them with a nair or something. They can't get back on stage. The, like, exception to that is if they know I'm going to counter them, or if they know I'm going to hit them, they'll try to counter and get back on stage. But generally, this is a matchup that I think Toon Link does best with. Probably the best out of any character in the game. Now, the next one is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong, now, we have had some troubles in NECC with Donkey Kong, but in reality, what Donkey Kong is for Toon Link is a game of patience. If I sit down, do nothing, but just throw projectiles at him, he has to come to me, make a call out on me, which is like one of Donkey Kong's like worst case scenarios, is having to approach and make a call out rather than punish. So if he makes a call out, if he messes up that call out, that is free game for me to take him off stage and then just gimp him from then and there. Like, these characters are, both Little Mac and Donkey Kong here are pretty easily gimpable, which is why they sit at the very top of this list with win rate. Me Sword Fighter is an interesting one, because technically me Sword Fighter can have Reflect, which could give me a little bit of trouble, but honestly, his Reflect end lag is so slow that even if I do get hit by something with it, I can immediately grab him and do something into him. His recovery isn't all that good, even his like ether and stuff like that, I can just pretty much go through. Once he's off stage, once again, it's the same issue with Little Mac. I eat one of his recoveries and then I eat the other one. Or he has the ones where you can only do horizontal, only vertical, and just gets stuck at bottom of stage and pretty much dies. There's not really like any redeeming factor that me Sword Fighter has against Toon Link specifically. So that is why he sits third on the list here. Piranha Plant. Now, forgive me, as you can see, Piranha Plant has kind of died block today. He's in his edgy phase right now. But yes, Piranha Plant in general. He does have Patui, which could present an issue. However, most of my projectiles are far faster than Patui. A lot of my combo game is much faster and is under Piranha Plant, which is a bigger issue than if it was above. A lot of my combos start under and carry you up into something, which is where Piranha Plant never wants to be. Never wants to be caught underneath or aside of him, which is where Toon Link sits majority of the time. Off stage, while I can't gimp him, I certainly could rack up a ton of damage dropping bombs on him, throwing projectiles at him. There's very rare times where Piranha Plant gets back up without taking some extra damage. So, while he has great recovery and stuff, overall this is just combo game for me. While he is heavy, I pretty much take majority of the game and can get confirms pretty easily on him. So, that's why he sits fourth on the list here. Incineroar is one of those characters that if I get caught with my pants down, he's definitely going to take me out one way or another. However, majority of the time it goes to this. I sit in a corner, can hit projectiles at him. He has to approach me, either make a call out with side B, call out with like a shield breaking tactic with neutral B or something, or basically it's a game of rock, paper, scissors. And because of that, because it sits on a game of rock, paper, scissors, if I win that rock, paper, scissors, I keep him off stage for long enough. Now, Incineroar, Darwin has very much proven that Incineroar's recovery is way better than I ever expected. However, Darwin to me is the exception, not the norm, because majority of the times when I fight Incineroar, they struggle to recover, they struggle to get back on stage. But honestly, I could see Incineroar being placed lower on this list as time goes on. But right now, with majority of the times I fight Incineroar, it's usually I gimp them, take them pretty far off stage, and just KO them there. If not, it's on stage, they try to do side B or something on me. My chain is actually faster than side B, so I just grab them, throw them off stage. Stuff like that. So, that's why Incineroar sits up here. Oh, also, one side note, with down B, if he manages to use it on one of my projectiles, that is free game for me to run up and grab him, full combo him. So he never gets to use revenge, like ever. Unless there's like a rare exception where I instinctively just go boomerang into arrow. But if I boomerang and he tries doing something with that, I just grab him. Like, it's free game for me. Alright. Pokemon Trainer. This is one that is very odd to have up on the top of this list. But I would just like to say I have never, ever seen a good Pokemon Trainer main. And any Pokemon Trainer I do fight, which we have fought some in the competitive league, typically they lose very hard to all of my strategies. Like, Charizard's like the main one that I may have issues with just because he can kill so early. But majority of the time, Squirtle, I can hard hit into stuff, and in fact, I footstool a lot, so I just catch Squirtle off guard all the time. So with stuff like that, and with overall my projectiles hitting low profile characters like him, Squirtle is not that big of an issue. Ivysaur is probably the biggest issue, just because Razor Leaf can go through some of my projectiles, but Boomerang goes through Razor and just takes out Bulbasaur in that count, so that he still has to approach. And while Ivysaur has good aerials and stuff, I have a decent shield and out of shield like tactics and stuff I could utilize on him. Now, I'm sure there is probably a time where there will be a person who plays Pokemon Trainer and proves me wrong and moving this character more down on the list. But as of right now, I'm pretty comfortable with having Pokemon Trainer in the 90-10. Now, Ganondorf. This should be higher on the list. I would agree. If someone were to tell me this should be higher, like next to Donkey Kong, Little Mac, I agree. I just, for some reason, get caught doing stupid stuff against Ganon. So this is my own personal opinion, having him in the middle here on the 90-10. Just because there are just times where I will just accidentally throw right into a Ganondorf attack of some sort. No neutral B or anything, but it could be like I get caught on a read and just get hit with a smash attack pretty easily, or I try to land in with an aerial, get caught with something. He does have some Nair combos, and his range is very much further than mine, so it can provide to be sort of troublesome. Not the most troublesome thing ever, just there are times where Ganondorf does catch me. Otherwise, yeah, if I take him off stage, it's pretty much game over, just like Incineroar, just like Littleback, just like on Donkey Kong, like all the above. Alright. Ice Climbers. No, Ice Climbers can be a threatening character with chain grab and stuff. However, actually, I don't even think chain grab's in... Well, there's like kind of a chain grab in this game, isn't there? Where you can like footstool into it. Still, like, very much could be a formidable character, but keep in mind with this playlist, it's mostly online. And I've never seen an Ice Climbers do anything online. They kind of just get desynced because I have Boomerang and Arrow and stuff and desync them. Take them off their game, pretty much either kill Nana or just kill Poe straight out. Like, there's not really too much counter game they can do because everything they do gets, like, their projectiles get countered by my projectiles, their attacks are outranged by mine. Like, honestly, I have not seen Ice Climbers do anything crazy against me. So that's why they sit up here. They're not like easily gimpable, I should say. I still have to take out a whole extra character just to take them on, which is why they sit near the middle here rather than near the top. But yeah, ice could be like a problematic thing, and I've seen some combos off Ice Climbers, but honestly, a lot of what I do just kind of counterplays what Ice Climbers does. Jigglypuff. Now, I have been full comboed by Jigglypuff before, and there are times where rest does catch me a bit more than most insta-kill moves. However, majority of the time it goes, I hit Jigglypuff projectile, Jigglypuff has to approach, gets counterplayed, and pretty much gets full comboed into oblivion. Like, there's not, like, my aerials, while not faster than Jigglypuff's, do seem to have a bit more range for the most part, minus Nair. And if not, I have all my projectiles and bombs and stuff to play around that. And while I can't like insta-poke Jigglypuff like most characters can, like popping shield and stuff, my grab is pretty decent to catch on Jigglypuff and stuff. And my shield game is decent enough to where I can handle Jigglypuff trying to run in and do like a forward throw and stuff. So, I assume down air combos could be troublesome. I just haven't seen that just yet. It definitely could be an issue. Kirby I've run into so many times, and yet I still cannot find a decent Kirby that could take me on. We had one a while back when I was playing Lucina. As with Toon Link, anytime Kirby tries to down B, I grab him. Anytime Kirby tries to inhale, I throw a bomb. Anytime Kirby tries to use hammer, I just hit them with anything or grab them. Like, all their specials just kind of get outplayed by mine. Even the projectile off of up B loses to most of mine, because I just have more projectiles to throw and mine come out much faster. Like, there's just not much Kirby can do with his specials on me. His combo game is pretty decent, and the invincibility on the feet is pretty nice. But even then, I still, like, other than Kirby able to low profile sometimes, I mean Jigglypuff can too, I typically don't have that much of an issue against Kirby. So that's why he sits here. Meta Knight. Now, I've seen... I had one time an attorney where a Meta Knight was able to full combo me and ledge guard me, like, absolute crazy. Like, Meta Knight has some strong potential in this game. You don't really see that all too often online, or in fact in tournaments. I've never seen a Meta Knight in any CC or NACE. So, with that, it's hard to give a proper judgment of Meta Knight, other than majority of the times when I fight him, it's usually I hit him into something and it just full combos. Like, there's not really too much to talk about there. Now we're moving into the stuff that's getting more to like the 70-30 range, but not quite there. This is probably more like in between the 10 to 20% here. Simon and Richter. Now, if I get them off stage, I think the tale is old as time. Like, Simon and Richter can't recover. So it's pretty much game over there. I kind of mostly counter most of their projectiles. However, sorry about that. For the most part, a lot of their projectiles are pretty decent. I should honestly move Simon over in front of Richter. I'm not even going to bother with it, but just because Simon's fire interacts with bomb and pre-detonates it, compared to Richter's, which just bounces bomb. But honestly, both have their own uses for their own reasons, and I think Richter actually being able to catch bomb and use it against me could actually be a better deal. Actually, I'm fine with where they're at right now. But So stuff like that, like the interactions there could pose a difference between the two characters, but overall it mostly goes my boomerang beats theirs, my arrow beats whatever they got, axe really doesn't hit me unless I'm caught off guard. Like, I have pretty good projectile management, which is why I play Toon Link in the first place. So it's very hard for them to use their projectiles against me, like where I see what they're doing for the most part. However, I'm sure Simon and Richter could prove me wrong, but that's where I see them. Isabel, oh wow, going with the black vest here this time around. Isabel, for the most part, there are times where I could struggle against Isabel. Isabel has fishing pole, which goes pretty far, and Isabel could grab my boomerang, and that could be a very big issue. So, being able to grab my projectile and stuff is an issue. However, Isabel's main game, I win majority of the time. Especially because if I stand still, slingshot's not going to hit me. Like, usually Isabel's and stuff like to hit slingshot low, and granted, they could position it high enough to hit my head. However, I can also just duck and stuff like that if I know they're coming in with it. And a lot of my gameplay just counteracts what Isabel does, range-wise, damage-wise. And I can kill Isabel pretty early, which is another big issue because Isabel's recovery is very slow. So I could just drop down forward air, completely wipe out Isabel before she ever gets back on stage and stuff. Compared to like Villager, who gives me a lot of trouble, Isabel is one of those I don't really struggle with, and I'm very good with mine placement and stuff. Me Gunner. Now, Me Gunner in general, I don't struggle with. There are times where Me Gunner does throw mines and stuff, and has maybe a reflector that can cause some issues, but in general, it's pretty much a battle of range, in which case, while Me Gunner has some good range on like smash attack and stuff, my chain does hit further, does stun, hits into the tech scenario. If they fail that, they die. Tails all this time. So, yeah. But, yeah, Me Gunner is one of those characters that it's significantly better than Me Sword Fighter in the matchup, but not quite in the range of like 70-30. Now, Ike is one of those characters I should lose to, technically. Like, Ike has more range, Ike has better punish game, Ike can be very patient with my projectiles and come against me. However, majority of the times I fight Ike, they play way too aggressive, they get cotton bombed, they get full comboed, wondering why they're getting full comboed, and I take them off stage. There should be a scenario where Ike wins. I rarely see that scenario. So, that's why Ike sits like on the 20% instead of like the 70-30 with Chrom. So, and then we have Bowser. Bowser is probably one of those characters that should be placed higher technically. However, I just end up, anytime going up against Bowser, hitting them with Boomerang, full comboing them, catching them off stage, and it's a matter of can they survive or not. They survive, they have a bigger chance. Like, there's a lot of like high percent times, especially on like Callus and stuff, where I could struggle against Bowser. But if I find that a lot of his down airs and stuff, I counter with up air really easily. It's like down B and down air. So if I push shield and I bait out that down B, I can instantly go up air, catch them, and just kill them. Like, there's stuff like that I can do. Their up B out of shield loses to my up B out of shield. Their grab, for the most part, has pretty bad end lag, and I can catch them off guard with that. Nair and stuff, like, Bowser does have some range on me, and Bowser has some great punish game, like, and some great call out game, which could be problematic, which is why he sits very high here, pretty much in like the 20% win rate. However, I do not really have that big of an issue with Bowser to where I'd put him in this list. He sits pretty much in the 90-10. Alright, now, moving on to 70-30, again, weakest to strongest here. We've got Chrom. Chrom is one of those characters that where I think he'd be paired similarly to Ike. However, Chrom for the most part is way faster, plays a lot like Roy, and can catch me in some Roy combos that just outrange me. His Nair outranges me. Like, there's some problems I have with Chrom. However, game plan ends up being the same. If I get him off stage and he tries to up B, I catch him, throw him off stage again, he's dead. There's nothing he can do. Like, I either throw him off stage, I hit him with side smash, I shield, push up B. There's just like not much Chrom can do if he uses double jump off stage and goes for an up B. There's nothing. So stuff like that makes it very problematic for Chrom. Captain Falcon, while I do outrange Captain Falcon with projectiles and stuff and able to use chain, if Captain Falcon gets in my face, that is very problematic and it is hard for me to get out of there. Like once he's in, he's in. Like otherwise it's really a battle of how much can I keep him at bay, just distance enough to where I can keep racking in this damage and getting the kill in before he's able to full combo me, is what the majority of the game goes down to. However, once again, offstage game is not the greatest. And really, his recovery game's all right. I shouldn't say it's bad. Like, it's significantly better than, like, Ganon's and stuff. However, a lot of times it's, once again, going to be dropping a bunch of stuff on him, going to be hitting him with a bunch of projectiles. He's going to be racking up damage and potentially just get caught off stage entirely. However, that command grab, I can't go down and necessarily punish him. So, I have to be a bit more careful against Captain Falcon than I do, like, Ganon and stuff. Luigi. Now, Luigi sits this low because the only thing I see Luigi able to do to me is grab into insta-kill against me. That's like the major thing I see out of Luigi, and frankly, I don't get hit much by that. Granted, I assume if I get hit by the projectile of it, it could be problematic, but however, if you parry that and get out just fine, play a bit more projectile heavy, keep him at bay, there's not really much Luigi can do to get in other than like Fireball, because he doesn't have a reflector or anything. He could Luigi NATO in, but then if he's doing that, you just grab him, get him out of there. His recovery game is much better than like Falcon's and stuff. He can actually make it back on stage pretty easily. However, like vertical recovery is not as good, and I can catch him pretty easily with bomb and stuff, so that's why he sits here. Now, Wario is one of those characters where I could be absolutely winning the game against him, and then he hits me with Waft one time and the game's back to being even. Like, there's very problematic. His bike also counteracts most of my projectiles. There's a lot he can do. However, majority of the game, it's me keeping him at bay with projectiles and stuff and just keeping chain. Like, there's not much he can do to truly get in. However, does have some strong plays against me that makes it a bit more problematic than most characters. So that's why he sits on the list here. And so we're going into a bit more difficult. Now, I do put Bowser Jr. above Wario. That's because his tricks can outdo me more than Wario's tricks can. Up B and stuff, while they don't always catch me, I am very patient with stuff like that, or like side B into up B and stuff. They're one-trick ponies, but they work well. That's just the simplicity of that. He goes in. His projectile game is much better than mine, technically. However, in boxing, I pretty much take game in boxing for the most part. That's why he sits on 70-30 rather than like 50-50 or like 30-70. While his projectile game and his rush in game is pretty nice, along with the one-trick pony up B and stuff, I rarely get hit with the hammer itself. I have gotten hit by it before. Like, obviously, that can change a game if you get hit by his two best aerials outside of Clown Car. However, if he tries to recover and I hit him with a forward air mid-recovery, he dies, like, instantly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I can hit him with forward, like, I can hit him with forward air and nair, and he's gone. There's no coming back after that. Otherwise, yeah, a lot of his on-game stuff, like on-stage stuff, is pretty nice against me, but nothing I don't think I couldn't handle. Ryu's one of those characters where his projectile technically beats all of my projectiles. However, Ryu rarely ever gets in to actually box me, because while his projectile does beat mine, I have more projectiles to throw at him. And it's really just a game of attrition for him to try to rush me down, and I just play a game of cat and mouse with him forever. Especially if I have platforms. If it's on FD, it's a different story, because then I kind of have to go into him. But otherwise, if I have platforms and stuff, he only gets the one Hadouken or I don't know what his fireball's called, I'll be honest. Like Subrizon or something like that. But his projectiles in general, while they are nice, and that, again, if Ryu catches in, like, boxing game, I think Ryu does actually have the advantage on. But typically, if I'm catching Ryu, it's while in the middle of the air, and that is where I have very much superiority over him. Yoshi is one of those characters where I can gimp him pretty easily. However, if I time it wrong and hit that armor, I could be in some major trouble. Getting caught into down air combos, which then catches me getting juggled in the air. His aerials are a bit better than mine, minus forward air. So it can provide pretty troublesome to fight Yoshi, especially if I'm caught in a combo. Otherwise, egg and stuff do technically beat my projectiles. However, once again, Actually, I don't have faster projectiles against Yoshi, but for the most part, it's a game of patience against Yoshi. Just keeping my spacing well, utilizing chain a lot. Like, it's a slow game, but it's a winnable game more than it is losing. Ridley is one of those characters where I need to play super patient against him, otherwise I get caught like pants down. Like, I have to pretty much outspace chain against his tail, which my chain does outspace tail, luckily. But if I'm caught off guard and miss space, like, that could be endgame. But so long as I play my projectiles right, because my projectiles mostly go through fireball except bomb, and my projectiles charge up way faster than fireball. However, if I'm caught off stage and there's fireballs coming down at me, that's a problematic game. I probably should move this more to like 50-50. But honestly, I don't really end up having too much of a problem with like Ridley's aerials. Like, Nair is pretty nice, but like if he tries to hit me with up air or down air, my down air goes through his up air and my up air goes through his down air. So that's why he sits at 70-30. Like, there's a lot of trades where I take more trades than he can for the most part. However, there are times where he could probably hit through my speed. So, but yeah. Rosalina Luma is one of those weird ones where I think she could move to like 50-50 or lower. However, majority of the time when I fight Rosalina Luma, it's I hit Luma dies, and it's just Rosalina, and I can play the whole game. Like, sure, Rosalina can counter my projectiles and stuff, but chain hits Luma any day of the week, and then I can pretty much desync them and just focus on Rosalina. And if Luma tries getting back in my way, I have plenty of stuff to outfight Luma. So, while Luma is an absolute powerhouse of a character, I very much am able to keep spaced against Luma. It's just Rosalina that's like the main issue with like projectile grabs and stuff. So, King DDD is one of those characters where I feel I have such strong control over this character majority of the time. Gordo, I can absolutely double hit him into Gordo, full combo him off of his own Gordo. However, while I say that, there are times where if I hit Gordo, he manages to neutral B it, send it back to me, then we caught in this game of playing Ganondorf 2.0, and then it ends up being one of the projectiles hits. If it hits my shield, it's fine. If not, I'm dead. Like, it's pretty much... that's why he sits a bit more on like the moving up to like 30-ish side, moving to like 40s almost, because it's a lot of just bouncing back and forth, a lot of him catching projectiles or reflecting them back. And while I can maintain it for the most part, and I typically take a win on DDD, there's just times where I can get pretty overwhelmed, especially because he has more range and stuff. But he's slow enough and I can combo him pretty easily and kill him pretty easily, especially because my combos go into him very nicely, and he's floaty enough where I can just take him up off stage and updraft him. So it's pretty nice. Wii Fit Trainer, I can see where Wii Fit can be a problem, especially if she breathes. Like, when she does her breathing tactic, like, she's so fast, so rushed down on me. But anytime she is outside of that, it is fair game for me just to throw every projectile at her and to just catch her off guard, go for like combos, whatever. Just, I rarely have a problem outside of that, other than if I get caught in jab and get buried, that could be a problem. But majority of the time, I'm taking a game from Wii Fit, just because I have the ability to space Wii Fit pretty well for the most part. So that's why she sits here. But she is probably closer to even, which is why she sits more on like the 40-ish side. Now, Dark Samus and Samus, I'll put them both here. With these two, their projectiles are nice. Their projectiles are strong. If I'm caught off guard, they can pretty much kill me at 60%. However, they all fall under one problem, and that is my bomb beats out their biggest projectile in the game. So if I'm alert and awake, I pretty much have the game so long as I play patiently around their projectiles. Boxing, I have a little bit of a struggle against. However, chain allows me to keep my distance. Grab range, I lose. However, typically I'm going to be playing aerials against Samus, Dark Samus anyways, because I kind of have to approach in, understand I'm going to get outranged by grab, and their grab actually comes out the same speed as mine too, so it's just very unfortunate. They have a really nice tether, and it goes a bit further, so that there are times where I am at disadvantage against them. However, my projectiles are stronger. They have to, for the most part, have to approach me if I play patient enough. And when they have to approach me and do dash attack or something stupid on shield, if they go for grab, I'm able to roll in, and since it's a tether grab, I have full priority to combo them. If they go for dash attack, while it is a strong move, it has pretty bad end lag, so I can punish that. If they go for an aerial, their aerials all have pretty slow landings I can catch. And for the most part, I take majority of games on these two. So now Terry, this is where Sam's going to get mad at me. Sam's going to get mad at me for putting Terry in 70-30. Hear me out. Terry, boxing game, I lose 90% of the time. I should say that now. If I'm boxing Terry, it is a bad time. However, Terry cannot let me approach him. All of my projectiles go through his, and he has to come to me. It puts him in a pretty bad scenario, so he has to come in and try to bait out something for me. Yeah, with the bat. Oh, hey, hello. HGRagnarok. Oh, I play Toon Link. That's why Toon Link sits in the 50-50 here. That's what this tier list is about. It's about where Toon Link sits, like in matchups here. Yeah. Hold on. Let me set up chat real quick. Hold on. Sorry about that. I didn't realize chat wasn't on. What's up? Let's see. Yeah, so my explanation for this is we play a lot of online with Toon, or like when I play Toon Link, a lot of competitive what I do is online, and majority of the time with Pokemon Trainer, I know there are times where like Charizard can come in and play pretty strong, and there's times where Ivysaur can. However, majority of the time they come in, a lot of what I do, my projectiles hard play most of their projectiles. Even Charizard's Fire Breath gets kind of outplayed, and they have to approach me, which is where I have majority of the priority there. And a lot of times they go in for like aerials and stuff, get hard punished by my gameplay, and I full combo them majority of the time. Even Squirtle could have some issues if he rushes me down. However, majority of the time I actually catch Squirtle and footstools a lot more than I should. So that's where stuff like that comes in. Here, how's chat gonna be set up here? Doesn't that look good? But yeah. So with how all that is, yeah, Pokemon Trainer should be played defensively. However, Pokemon Trainer gets caught in a lot of combos, or like gets caught by my projectiles for the majority of the time. And if not, I go in. If he really is shielding most of my projectiles, I'll go in with a projectile. He shields it, I grab him. Unless he tries to spot dodge then and there, then I catch him on the spot dodge. Like there's for the majority of the game plan, yeah, their advantage is really good. Again, Donkey Kong's advantage is super good. Like both of their advantages are fine. However, they can't play patiently against me. That's the problem. They have to play aggressively because I can go through their defensive options majority of the time. Like I absolutely agree. I think Yeah, like I agree with you. Like I think their advantage game is fine. Like a lot of these characters, if I'm caught off guard, if I'm caught lacking, yeah, they could take a game for sure. However, if you play patient, play slow against them, and you play with like strong projectile game, like there's just not much they can do. They have to approach you, and that's where Toon Link does best, is on approach. So that's why I have them tiered up here. Yeah, ice on deck. I don't know what that is, but yeah. I mean, it could be. Grant, I've never fought like a truly like. Grant, I fought Pokemon trainers in NACE and NECC. I've really not like seen an amazing Pokemon trainer, so maybe there's a difference on that. But yeah. Oh, where were we? Oh wow. That's impressive. Yeah, for the most part, I'm definitely not like the best Toon Link by no means. I should make that clear now. Yeah. You know, I only stand on like NECC grounds and stuff, and even then I'm pretty lackluster. However, I just haven't met a good like Pokemon trainer made in general. But yeah. NACE. What is it called? Let me pull up the name for it. Yeah, NACE. But yeah, it's a Midwestern league. Yeah, it's a Midwestern college league. I'm a college esports player. I'm captain of WSC's JV team. Yeah. So. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I was at one point substitute for varsity, but yeah, no, for the most part, I just did captain of JV and train the new teams. Nice, nice. Ooh, so East Coast, right? Yeah. No, I don't think we get matched up with you guys. So. Yeah. Alright, well, anyways, so yeah, Terry, for the most part, there are just times where he can take a game on me. And so that's why he sits on like 70-30 moving board to like 40-50-ish. However, majority of the time, Terry has to approach me. But this is where I'm going to probably get a little controversial here because we're moving up now to the 50-50s. I find Ken to be much more in the 50-50 area than Terry, which is weird because I don't think I should have that opinion, but it's just majority of the time what happens is Ken throws out projectiles similar to Ryu. Ken's projectiles outdo all of my projectiles, but on top of that, his Seppuku goes through most of my projectiles too, so I can't keep him at bay. Chain does work on him. No, yeah, no, with how Diddy plays for the most part. Yeah, well, I'll get to him when I get to him, but yeah. But no, for the most part, like, Ken does come in, it's pretty even on boxing, like, he can take boxing pretty well, and if I'm caught off guard, it's pretty much full combo for him, and I'm caught in that, like, perfect area where I'm just floaty enough, it's hard for me to land and recover on him, and he can just keep me in the air, keep me juggled, and then go for Shoryuken and stuff. It's a pretty strong matchup for Ken, but at the same time, if he can't get in, there's just no game whatsoever for him. So it's pretty much, it sits very 50-50 majority of the time, just from my standards of playing against him. Now, me Brawler sits in this range where he is like bootleg Mario in a sense, where Mario has some decent reflex and stuff, while me Brawler doesn't have that. Me Brawler has bowling ball, or whatever the shot put is. Because majority of the time that can go through all of my projectiles and carries through projectiles on top of that. So I can't zone him out fully. So I kind of have to play a little bit of the boxing game with chain and stuff. So if I miss chain, he gets in with a nair, goes combo. If I hit him with chain, I go into combo and can keep him at bay. And it's this whole game of bouncing back and forth between who wins the trade and who doesn't. And it goes into basically this just constant playing of neutral. So that's majority of the time going through that. But yeah, so that's why me Brawler sits in the 50-50. I think he could probably move up to like 30-70. But for the most part, that's just my main experience with Mii Brawler. It just feels very even for the most part. Lucario is one of those characters that this is just opinion-wise on this one. I don't know why, but I struggle with Lucario. And I think it's just because his counter just goes through my projectile, carries through into me, and if it's up close enough with boomerang and stuff, I just get full comboed. Or I get caught into like disadvantage state at least, and just caught in a bad state with stuff like that. His aura, because Toon Link doesn't kill all that early, aura builds up pretty easily, and he can catch me off guard with aura. His especially when he's higher on aura, his projectiles go through mine, and then he has a couple things to just get through shield stuff. So it can get rough if I'm not careful with Lucario. But otherwise, it's pretty much an even match. Like at the beginning, if I can catch him early, it's pretty good. If I catch him late, it could be a problem. So it's a very 50-50 scenario in that. It's just really a race against time. Yeah, Diddy Kong, his projectiles are great and all, and I gotta say, and his combo game's incredible off of Banana and stuff. However, I just run into the situation where if he hits shield, it does nothing. If I catch Banana, it is way better for me than it is Diddy, because I actually could do some combos off of Banana. On top of that, while he is a smaller character in general, a lot of my moves just hit him just fine compared to like Pichu and stuff, or Pikachu. So while his projectile game is good, I'm good at catching projectiles and stuff, and for the most part, it's really a game of bouncing back and forth on like who holds the projectile, who holds the banana, who holds bomb, like it bouncing around like who can get into the combo first, really. While Toon Link doesn't have any crazy combos like Diddy does, keeping Diddy at bay isn't all that crazy. So long as you just keep track of where Banana is, keep a hold on to it, just prevent Diddy from having what he needs to full combo you. So, even though he does have some approach options with side B and stuff, your projectiles go through it for the most part as Toon Link, so it just catches them off guard. You can pretty much chain, keep them at distance. Like, there's stuff to keep Diddy Kong at bay. It's just getting hit with Banana can be devastating, absolutely, if you're not careful with it. Bayonetta is one of those weird ones where I feel like I don't have issue with Bayonetta, but at the same time, I know what Bayonetta can do. We just don't have any Bayonettas in NACE or NECC. So, majority of the times, even when just playing normal online, I will catch a Bayonetta off guard. However, I know that if I get caught in a Bayonetta combo, that's death for Toon Link. Like, Toon Link can't get back on stage for nothing with Bayonetta speed and stuff. So, it's a trade-off game. This placement of Bayonetta, especially in the future and stuff, could be placed differently. Like, this is the first playlist I'm doing this tier list as a like set in time of how I think of characters now, and I want to see how I think of characters in the future. So right now Bayonetta sits 50-50 for me, just because for the majority Bayonetta's combos are amazing. It could catch me off guard and pretty much take out a Toon Link, just because Toon Link can't land on Bayonetta, and even with arrow and stuff to maneuver around, even with chain to keep Bayonetta at bay, if getting caught up in that could just be game, like easily. Especially just because Toon Link struggles with landing so hard, and Bayonetta is all about aerial combos. So, sits in the 50-50 there. Duck Hunt is one of those characters where all of his projectiles pretty much sit with my projectiles in ranking. Like, my bomb beats his bomb, but my boomerang loses to gun. Or actually, no, my boomerang loses to frisbee. Arrow kind of beats gun. It's a game of like constant rock, paper, scissors of the projectiles, and who can force the other opponent to approach first is what it really is. Because if Duck Hunt has to approach me, that is worst case scenario for them. If I have to approach a Duck Hunt, that is a full combo game for Duck Hunt. It's just kind of this bouncing around of who can set up the projectiles more properly to get into the combo first. So it's this game of like cat and mouse or the dog chase versus like Toon Link. It's just, it could really end up being anyone's game in that state. Though there could be some very creative Duck Hunts that could take me out much easier than the ones I know. There's also situations where maybe Duck Hunt's even worse than I think he is. But I think Daikon's sitting pretty nice sitting in the middle for now. Now, Ness sits on this weird, like, pivot. Ness's combos are great. Ness can kill me early. Ness can do a lot of great things. However, I can gimp Ness like none other. Like, if it's really these very fast-paced games of playing hard neutral, and then once someone's caught in disadvantage, it's pretty much over. So the same goes for Lucas here. I think I have harder time gimping Lucas just because Lucas's up B is a multi-hit rather than a single hit. And having Snake allows him to outbeat me in like doing Zaire like combos and stuff. But Ness also does just in general have better aerials and stuff, 2 full combo, and gets way earlier kills than Lucas. But so these two kind of sit next to each other. I definitely can gimp Ness for sure. I know that for a fact. Lucas, I just struggled to gimp, so it really is just more trading in neutral. But these games both are like fairly even. King K. Rool's a weird one because sure, he has a reflector on my projectiles. Sure, he has a cannon that can go through most of my projectiles. However, it cancels out his cannon. He can also reflect my projectiles with cannon itself, with the gun itself, and shoot them right back at me. There's some stuff he can do at ledge guarding. But at the same time, if I catch him, I can full combo him and just catch him off guard. So he's a difficult character to work with, but it is fairly even of a game for the most part. As long as both players play patient, it's a matter of like who can get the right trades at the right time, catch each other off guard. Like, sure, K. Rool has some decent confirms, but however, Toon Link has some amazing confirms on K. Rool as well. So he sits kind of in this middle area. Snake, I honestly could see in 3070. I really could see him in a higher tier. Or I suppose lower tier in this case, but higher tier. Just because if I get overwhelmed by grenades, it can be an issue. However, I rarely have trouble with mine other than it zones out one platform, which is fine by me, or zones out a ledge, which is fine by me because I'm already taking control of that other platform. Because while he's setting that up, I'm already on the other platform with Boomerang ready to zone him out. And it's a game of whose projectiles connect first and like what in general can you do to like catch a trade, catch into a combo and stuff. Snake has earlier kills on me, so that could provide problems. At the same time, I can take out his recovery pretty easily, even because you can't do anything if the like hovercraft is taken out, but Toon Link's forward air insta kills Snake's recovery. So majority of the time, like when they're off stage trying to do the infinite recovery, I could just take out their top like little hovercraft thing and just leave them stranded off into the off stage and stuff. So while I can't technically get earlier kill confirms, I can gimp him way easier and take out his recovery way easier. So regardless of whether I hit the platform itself or if he's at 100 and I hit him, like it's just a rough time for him off stage. Otherwise, on stage, it's pretty much an even game for the most part, and his confirms are way easier to hit on stage. But it's just who can hit the other person off stage first is what it really breaks down to. Pac-Man's another character I could see in 3070. I just don't think he fits there for the reason of I'm able to utilize Hydrant typically a bit better than Pac-Man can. However, a lot of Pac-Man's projectiles go through mine. A lot of his not projectiles, but his neutral B in general. Like a lot of his items in neutral B go through majority of my items, which makes the game a bit more fair. However, I feel I can utilize Hydrant into combos into him more. Plus, while he does have some very strong recoveries and stuff, I can end up gimping him a bit easier too. So it really is just this battle between each other on stage, and then off stage it's a pretty even ledge guard state. It's one of those characters that he is a stronger character, probably like definitively. However, just in the match between Toon Link and Pac-Man, it feels very even for the most part. It's a lot of like trading projectiles, trading like aerial game. While Pac-Man has some decent aerials, they are about the same range as Toon Link, so it just feels like you're trading back and forth. And in general, it's just for the most part, right below like hitting skill issue. But I think Pac-Man technically has a slight advantage on Toon Link, but I keep him here just because it feels more even than not. Young Link, people debated for a while on whether or not Young Link is better or less than Toon Link, and any time I fight a Young Link, it always ends down to the last stock at the last percents. There's never a time where it isn't. It always feels that way. It always comes off that way. I literally have several recordings of where I've lost to time and that's it, or I've won to time. Like, it is very difficult to say that Young Link is better than Toon Link when a majority of the games I fight against Toon Link, it breaks even just about every time. And lastly, at the most even of the evens, we have Toon Link for obvious reasons. So, but yeah. So that's how the record sits 50-50. Now 30-70, this is where the opponent has a bit more of an advantage and has a bit more like game on me. You're going to see a couple weird ones in this, but hear me out on these. So Byleth has way stronger projectiles than I do, has way better game than I do, like a lot of boxing I can't even pull off. I can't use chain all that well because side B and side air or forward air, and my bad. Like forward air and side B pretty much outzone my chain, so it's hard for me to get in. It's hard for me to take to chip off any damage. For the most part, Byleth's projectile just goes through all mine, so it's just like cool. I kind of have to play around that. And it's problematic. Not the biggest issue. If I get in and catch Byleth in a combo, Byleth's luckily heavy enough that I can combo him into a few things. But he can gimp me pretty well with up B. He can take me out off stage with neutral B. He just down B if I'm getting really cocky and he sees I'm dash attacking into him. Down B can be a problem. Like, for the majority of it, like, it's a tough time against Byleth. Not the end of the world. Like, if I play more patient, I have a better game. Banjo-Kazooie is one of those characters that their projectiles come out fast, they come out quick, they beat all of my projectiles. Wonder Wing goes through all of my projectiles and my chain and any attack I do. So I have to shield. So if I'm caught in the air and caught in an air dodge, it's rough because right after he can just punish that. He's got some great out of shield game, so if I hit shield at all, I'm in trouble because Nair just goes right through and stuff like that. So I have to play very patient with chain if I ever get in on shield. His grenade is just way better than mine, like catches into much better combos and stuff. And overall, like, it's a gain catching at that point because he can catch my bomb and use it on me. I can't catch his grenade and use it on him because the moment I catch it, it's already like flashing red and I have to get rid of it then and there. So it's a much harder game to use the grenade on. He's got some crazy tech and stuff he can use on platforms and things that just are like, one of them's called KFC and stuff that could just catch me completely off guard, take me out. Like, it is a tough matchup, not unwinnable, just very, very difficult for Toon Link to get in and get a kill. Because Banjo-Kazooie has such projectile priority, it makes it very hard for Toon Link to get in. Because Toon Link now has to approach, Toon Link has to find a way to get in, and even then, after getting in, there's a couple of things you have to watch out for. It's just very tough. Cloud is fast-paced, he's got great projectile that goes through all my projectiles for the most part. Like, Bomb doesn't technically lose to it, but at the same time, Bomb just gets stuck in the air and doesn't do anything. So, it's a quick, easy projectile for him to throw out. Limit just makes him a full rushdown character and catch me off guard. Like, he can get in easy, he can do a lot of damage easily, he can punish very easily. He's a simple, solid character. The only reason why he doesn't even sit any higher on the list is because I can gimp him pretty easily if I catch him off stage. Otherwise, this could be a devastating character to go up against. Shulk sits very similar pacing. However, I feel Shulk's just Monado powers make it very much harder for me to get in and do stuff against him. Because he's got speed, which already makes him already at my face, up close, aggressive. I can't really throw a projectile quickly enough without getting caught. I can't I really am stuck like playing defensive options then and there and playing the patient game and waiting for Shulk to do something. Which it's just a rough time. He's in, he's at my face, he's ready to take me out. Only problem is if I catch him off stage, he's got one up B with jump, which jump is nice. If he doesn't have jump and he's off stage, I got him. Like, that's game. That's the only reason why he doesn't sit any higher. I don't know if I'd put him higher than Roy. No, because I think this is still fine. Roy's game already is Shulk with speed. Running in, already has one of the best pokes in the game, has two of the best pokes in the game actually, has down tilt and jab, which gets in. I have to play around him. I have to try to keep my distance on him, but he just is always right there, always in range, always ready to combo, ready to do something in my face with either grab game, with tomahawk grabs and stuff, with nairs, to go into like full combo. It's very hard for Toon Link to deal with someone who is heavy rushdown. Like, if I can catch him in a zone, sure, I've got him. If he's afraid of my projectiles for some reason, I got him. Like, he has to play patient, but he plays like it's weird, like aggressively patient. Like, he shields, goes in, shields again, like keeps distance in. If I try to go in and grab and mess that up, it's just full combo for him. If he manages to jab a poke shield and I do something stupid, I can get caught out of that. Like, I can't hit up B when he jabs and stuff like that. It is a tough matchup for Toon Link. Just because Roy has that bit of poking damage, and that damage immediately goes into a full combo. It's rough. He can also bait me out with side B and stuff. Like, shield parry's nice. Shield parry gets me through the day for the most part with him. But there's just some tough times against Roy. Villager is one of those weird picks to sit here because I think he could sit lower in the list. I think he could probably even sit in 50-50. However, anytime I fight a villager, I always just end up getting caught by tree, like set up in a wrong spot, just taking over a full platform. Then he has Lloyd to take over the bottom platform, so I'm stuck on top platform. And if I even try to contest Lloyd, all of my stuff loses to Lloyd. And then on top of that, he's already there with Slingshot, and I now have to play defensively. Like, it's weird. He has great zoning potential, but he has great aggressive power as a zoner. It's very interesting to see. And then getting caught in a combo by Villager, and you're really just hoping that turnips just roll low. That's what you're really hoping for. And even then, he could still combo into something off it. You just are hoping it rolls low and doesn't kill you instantly. So stuff like that against Villager, it's rough. I kind of feel like he could fit in 50-50 rather than up here, but this is just majority of the games I fight against him. It feels 30-70. Like, but this one's a more feeling like preference based. Sheik is just so hard rush down. It is so difficult for me to get out of Sheik's grasp. If I can zone Sheik, if I can keep Sheik at bay, it's not bad. However, Sheik always just seems to have that enough speed to get right through the projectiles, get right up in your face, and get the full combo off. There's a lot of good kill confirms and stuff. Not quite like 1090, because there's still some disadvantages that Sheik has against me, because Sheik does have to play patiently against my projectiles and stuff. And if I play patiently enough with Chain and stuff and keep her just at bay, I do have a win somewhere. It's just much harder. Zero Suit is one of those bait and punishers, and typically Toon Link doesn't deal with that too much, just because Toon Link doesn't have to get in all that much. However, oh, why is Greninja this far high? Oh, whoops. Was this ever fully sorted? I don't know if this was or not. I don't think this one was sorted. The rest of these are for sure. I think this one's a little off, but that's okay. Zero Suit, for the most part, forces me to approach because she has projectiles and stuff to really play that game through. I honestly would put Sheik above Zero Suit and Greninja here. I apologize for this being out of order, but we're just going to work with it. But Zero Suit has some strong like call outs and stuff, and I get kind of caught in that and have to play around it. If I get hit by her projectile, it's a full combo regardless on stage, as long as she has it second charged. For the most part, her side B goes through most of my projectiles, her neutral B goes through projectiles, so I'm already at a disadvantage there, kind of have to approach. And then where most bait and punish I don't really have to approach. I can just keep them at bay. Zero Suit forces me to approach, so I kind of have to figure out how to play safely against Zero Suit. And I can't give him Zero Suit for the life of me, just because of Dolphin Flip and stuff. Just always having something at bay to get back onto stage is very difficult. Not impossible, though. Not impossible. So, if I play it safe, play patient enough, there is a chance I win that matchup. Dark Pit and Pit play very similarly, so I'm just going to put them in the same list here. And it's under these circumstances that they have great combo game. They go in strong. For the most part, they're not like true rushdown. And they don't technically outzone me with their projectiles. However, their reflector makes it very difficult for me to get in. So, while I do like bomb and stuff, and I do like utilizing my boomerang and things, one side beat or one down beat, and that boomerang becomes a projectile against me and just becomes a rough time. Like, reflectors in general, and you're going to see a lot of that, a lot of reflectors here, is what pretty much sets the difference between like a 50-50 match and a very difficult matchup. Granted, these two do have a reflector, but the reason why these two sit here is because it's a smash attack. It takes forever to charge up, and I can punish that. These are way less harder to punish, so I basically am out a projectile. I kind of have to play arrow first, and then if I see a reflection, then I can go boomerang and stuff. But you really have to play very pokey, very patiently against these characters. It's not like they're unwinnable. It's not like I can't like catch them off guard or anything. It's just very difficult to get in on these characters. Marth and Lucina are characters where, yes, my projectiles are very strong on them. They have to play around that. But it's a matter of once I need to get in for kill confirms and boxing and stuff. If they grab a bomb, any of my bombs, if they catch one, that's it. I pretty much am stuck in a huge disadvantage losing a bomb and now letting them have one and getting caught up in this mess of they hit me with bomb once and they have a free kill, basically. Marth or Lucina here. Marth I can pretty much try to outspace, however, or I could try to like cross in with spacing and maybe rush him down there. However, Tipper just sits perfectly where I miss, Tipper hits. So it's a lot of trying to cross in with spacing on Marth, which is why I put Marth a little less on the list. Lucina, there's no winning that matchup. Like, without no winning whatsoever, but like there's no outspacing Lucina. I basically have to hit with bomb, hit with boomerang, and get in with a combo. I cannot approach Lucina. I have to let Lucina come to me and punish her. Like, so, and if she catches me off guard with a shield piercer or catches me off guard with a tomahawk grab or something, it can get nasty really quick, which is why they sit there. Greninja I would honestly put behind Sheik and Zero Suit here, but same concept with these two. As a projectile that beats through mine, I kind of have to get into a fight I know I really can't win, get full comboed, etc, etc. The only difference is I can probably gimp Greninja more than I can give the other two, even though Greninja has a pretty decent recovery. And on top of that, like, I can majority outspace Greninja. Like, I think Greninja would actually sit more closer down to here, but I don't know why he's sitting here. Peach and Daisy, for the most part, while I know they are strong characters, and I know they probably sit on top tier, we're talking online Peach and Daisy. So they don't have their true combos that they do in offline. So keep that in mind. Majority of what I have to play against is Mr. Saturn, Bomb, Turnips. That's kind of where most of my projectiles lose, is to all of those. And on top of that, they still have some combos they can pull off that provide a lot of trouble for me. They could play the very patient game. They could force me in and just catch me in some aerial combos that are crazy and provide a lot of problem. Again, Sora, I'd probably move a bit further down the list over here. I apologize, this wasn't set up. But yeah, for the most part, with Sora having great projectiles that go through mine, in fact, having projectiles that cover way more of the stage than mine can, Sora having more range, just overall a better character than Toon Link, which makes it troublesome. I really don't have issues with counters in general. Although I have to say Sora's counter is pretty strong if I'm going to try to go for a kill, and Sora counter's one of the best counters in the game. So that's where it becomes very problematic. Robin. Oh, whoops, I haven't been clicking, my bad. Robin, for the most part, projectiles are all better than mine. All of them. All the projectiles are better than mine. Sword hits further than mine. I think the only reason why Robin doesn't even sit in 1090 is just because Robin is slow as I'll get. Not that Robin needs to go anywhere. You kind of have to approach Robin and get punished. But yeah, slow as I'll get, and on top of that, everything runs out eventually. So you can outpatient Robin and win, technically, with proper resources and stuff. Now, Link sits... I honestly think Link's fine where he is here, because his arrow beats all of my projectiles, and that is his fastest neutral B move. His boomerang's really nice. His bomb is just significantly better than my bomb and can utilize it way better and can detonate it whenever, yada yada, cool Link stuff. On top of that, Link also has easier kills on me, outranges me, can combo me easier, and juggles Toon Link very well just because Toon Link struggles with landing and stuff. So Link becomes a very major issue against Toon Link. Now, Dr. Mario, I'm pretty sure I intended to have this high on the list. Now, you might be going, why on earth is Dr. Mario up here and not in 9010? It's simply put, his reflector is just that good. If I lose boomerang to reflector, he can combo off that like any pill can, except he actually can do stuff with it, unlike pill. Like, pill doesn't really do much for him, but my projectiles do everything for Dr. Mario. So if I get hit by boomerang, if he catches bomb and uses that on me, Dr. Mario suddenly goes from a bad character to, hey, I actually have decent projectiles now and can now utilize these against my opponent. While he doesn't have the greatest combo game of all time compared to like Mario, he very much can get in pretty easily, get in some quick kills on Toon Link, especially because Toon Link sits on the medium to lighter side, and pretty much Dr. Mario can just get in, get some quick combos in, and get some easy kills. It's very tough for me to play around that. Granted, a lot of his game isn't fantastic. He is a low tier character overall. This is just one of those situations where I think this low tier actually has a good chance against Toon Link. Like, this is just one of those characters I seem to struggle against online, just in general. Which is weird, because I typically don't have any struggles with the rest of the low tiers. It's just Dr. Mario. So, that's why Dr. Mario sits on 3070, because Dr. Mario seems to just become a problematic character for me. I don't know why. Inkling is one of those where... Oh, one second. I will be right back. Sorry, my throat was getting dry. Alright. But yeah, Inkling overall is just a character with better projectiles, better combo game, better everything, can gimp me super easily with down B. It can even go off stage and do some crazy stuff, spike me and do some crazy stuff, because of course Toon Link, when up being, doesn't have a hitbox, and perfect for Inkling, who could just drop gun right on the no hitbox right in the middle. So has some great gimp game, has some great on stage game. Her projectiles just outbeat mine. Just roller, I don't have an issue with the roller. Like, that's not one I have an issue with. It's just everything else in Inkling's kit I have a struggle with, for the most part. Olimar is just one of those characters that I didn't think I would ever have an issue with, yet every time I run into an Olimar, it is just Manhattan. Like, it's just absolute disaster. Where I can, like, off stage, I pretty much have Olimar down, but anytime on stage, like, Olimar's combo game's really good. Olimar's projectiles are decent, go through mine, like, for the most part, or at least block mine. Aerials and stuff are good, like, can latch on, just constantly deal damage, like, feels like a bootleg Joker side V. But I suppose Joker is technically the re-enhanced version of this, but still. Like, having that constant damage, and the damage I actually sometimes can't hit. Like, there's just some Pikmin I can't hit without using a specific move. Like, it can be very problematic. Which is why I put him right here on the list. Like, there's just a lot of damage he can rack up, and he can kill pretty easily. Purple Pikmin are insane. Electric Pikmin are insane, too. Or yellow Pikmin, I should say. Whoops. Zelda is, again, one of those low tiers that just ends up causing a whole wave of problems for me. Like, just Neutral B is just so good. It's just, I don't know what to do about it. Phantom Knight is good, is decent. I think I could play around Phantom Knight, honestly, with Chain and stuff. Like, Chain allows me to play a lot through Zelda's game. However, if I miss Chain, or if Chain gets blocked and I'm stuck on ground right in front of Zelda for Zelda to do whatever, it's just a bad time. Like, I rarely, because let's say Knight's pulled up and I'm like, oh, you're pulling up Knight, I will Chain. If Chain gets blocked, I get hit by Knight. Like, I'm not gonna be able to shield in time, and if I do shield, she's just gonna run up and grab. It's just, it is a rough time when approaching Zelda, and I kind of have to approach Zelda because all of my projectiles get reflected, and if not reflected, she grabs bomb and can use it on me. There's no good situation where I can sit back. I have to approach Zelda. I just need to figure out a way to overwhelm Zelda, which is a gameplay that Toon Link just isn't good with. Toon Link's not good with rushing down. Very, very tough. Oh, what's that? There you go. Falco sits under the, kind of sits more than the 20%. The rest of these characters sit in like 20% or higher. Falco is one of those characters that is great rush down, can do some great combos, and I think the only reason really I don't put him any higher is because his reflector, while it can reflect projectiles and stuff, puts him in a pretty bad spot for Chain for the most part. So while reflector is nice, I can catch him off guard with a Chain, catch him into a full combo for a little bit, and I can kill him pretty early just because of that, if I catch him off guard. But that's like the only scenario where I can really catch him. Otherwise, his aerial game is better than mine. He's got a great combo game, great spike that could just hit me right on the head. I can't hit him. Got some great side B game and stuff. However, shielding that doesn't make it too much of an issue, except he's fast at a shield. There's just a lot I have to struggle with Falco to get a win. It's not that it's impossible, it's just very difficult to play around Falco's gameplay, especially because Toon Link doesn't do rushdown characters ever. It's very, very tough. Now, Pyra. Now, I did split Pyra and Mithra because I think there's some people just hard main Pyra and some people hard main Mithra. The reason why Pokemon Trainer's all in one is because I just don't have an issue with any of the three in Pokemon Trainer. But these two I have different interactions with. Pyra is not impossible. Pyra, however, has some strong key parts of her that make it difficult. And typically whenever I fight Pyra, I'm already at 100%. So it's really who wins the trades. And if I can get Pyra off stage, it's over. However, it's just already a losing battle because Pyra has me at 100%. Can already hit me with basically any move and get the kill. Or goes in like neutral B, I don't have that big of an issue with. However, side B, none of my projectiles can get through side B unless I like time it perfectly to get through. So it's not impossible, it's just very tough to beat Pyra. Pyra is also a bit heavier, so it's harder to kill her in general. So I really kind of have to take her off stage. I hope they don't swap to Mithra and side B, but they're going to. And if they have to recover low, that's like the only time I have a strong advantage on Pyros, if they have to recover low. Because then I could drop bomb, go in, do a forward air and kill. But if they have to recover horizontally, they just swap to Mithra, and Mithra becomes a whole plethora of problems. So, like, the recover game's bad, however, everything else about these two characters are just insane. But Pyra is much more doable than Mithra. If I see someone hard go Pyra and never want to swap to Mithra ever, I'm happy. I'm a happy man. Kazuya Mishima. This is a character where if I play safe, slow, low, and play as if I'm actually playing Tekken, where one trade meets the end all be all. It is not the worst thing on earth. However, I cannot fight Kazuya on FD. I have to ban FD if I ever see Kazuya show up. If I'm on FD against Kazuya, it's over. There's just no way to get in on Kazuya. Kazuya can play very patiently. Anytime I try to go in and do something, it is now rock, paper, scissors. Unlike rock, paper, scissors, the rest of the characters on this roster, though, that I've talked about so far, losing is that's death. Death if you miss. It's very, very difficult. Not impossible, just difficult. A very difficult character to go up against. I probably should have put Corrin in the 3070. No, I'm looking at it. Oh well. I think Corrin sits right there too. Like, these characters are very strong and are definitely in the meta. Like, we know these guys are in the meta. However, I don't think Kazuya is impossible. It's just very difficult. Here's where the characters I feel... Oh, I don't need to scroll, that's right. These are the characters I feel that Toon Link has the strongest, or has the hardest time against. For all the, just the reasons that Toon Link's main issues are. Mythra. We're going to start with Mythra. I think I might honestly would rather start with Corrin here. Because I think Corrin sits right around where Kazuya and Pyra are. So I'm going to start with Corrin first. Corrin just has everything in his kit to just perfectly outspace Toon Link. It may not seem like it may not seem like it's a 1090. I actually, I'm comfortable putting it here. Just because most of Corrin's kit is fast, comes out quick, outspaces Toon Link in just about every trade of every move. I can't chain because side B comes out quick. I can't. It's not only does side B come out quick, it also outranges me. Smash attacks, he outranges me. In general, Nair outranges me. Up air, the only thing I can really win is down air. If you have one of those casual Corrin players that do down air all the time, that's the only time Toon Link really wins this matchup. Otherwise, you are really struggling the on-stage gameplay against Corrin. It is a constant battle of trying to play around with shield. However, Corrin can also poke shield with smash attacks and stuff, so you have to play around that. You have to play around on top of that. If they do go in for a grab and stuff, you're in a lot of trouble there. It is just a constant battle against Corrin as Toon Link to try to maintain that perfect distance where Corrin misses and you have just enough time to get in with a Zair or something and try to get something going. And while your projectiles are nice, Corrin has a pretty solid projectile that goes through all of them. It's just a lot of patient gameplay where you just have to play out of your mind the whole time, compared to most of the other sorties and stuff. Mythra is on this list because if I throw a projectile at Mythra, it is witch time. And it is full-time witch time for Mythra to start up a combo. It is over from there. Unless I immediately throw a projectile and mash shield, which even then she just runs up and grabs. I have very little to no time to do anything with Mythra and projectiles. And that's not all. That is not all. Projectiles-wise, I lose. Comes in, combos me, pretty much puts me at a percent to swap to Pyra, or just kills me as Mythra. Second scenario, I start to full combo Mythra. However, especially online, because I have those 7 extra frames of delay, that gives Mythra a perfect amount of time to just mash shield. And if I do what is supposed to be a true combo in any other character on Mythra, she gets witch time and gets to full combo me. It's insane. It is a busted ability, especially online. I think these guys are Wi-Fi warriors online for sure. The only saving grace is if I just play it slow, try to make sure I bait out the dodge and catch her after, and play a very lame slow game against Pyra Mythra. Also, shield parry game is also insane, so that too. It's just very hard to get in on Mythra because Mithra just goes, your combo's over, it's time for me. So you just have to do these basic trades or basic like pokes and stuff, and then go in with just a smash attack or something. You just have to play it so slow and just try not to get full comboed. It's very difficult. Sephiroth sits up here because everything I do on Sephiroth, I lose. Grab? No, Sephiroth's aerials are farther. Shield? No, actually Sephiroth has a shield breaker. Try to roll or anything? No, actually Sephiroth just is faster than me in any way, shape, or form. Pretty much full rush down, and if I start winning, Sephiroth wins. So Sephiroth goes from, oh, now I'm Little Mac, to instead of just being Sephiroth, I'm Sephiroth Little Mac now. Have fun. And I have an extra jump, and I can recover easier, and I'm faster, and I deal more damage. Anything else you want to mention? Actually, oh wait, no, he doesn't deal more damage, that's Wii Fit. But still, it is insane trying to go up against one wing Sephiroth. Playing against normal Sephiroth is doable. If I kill him before one wing comes out, I suppose I have a chance. But the moment one wing comes out on Toon Link, it's over. Like, Sephiroth full combos and kills every time. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know how to outplay Sephiroth in the Toon Link game, at least. And if I try to recover, down B just kills me. Like, his counter is so good, it 2 frames that ledge, just kills me. What can I do? Like, I can't do anything about off stage, I can't do anything on stage. It feels impossible. I don't think it is. I think there are times where I could probably sneak in a win on Sephiroth, but this is why he sits at 1090. Pichu. Now, technically, if I sit and throw projectiles at Pichu for 9 years, maybe I will win. However, what's really probably is going to go down is I mess up against one Tika Jolt. Tika Jolt hits me. Pichu's there, grabs me, full combos, gets me off stage. I'm stuck at a pretty bad situation since I've just been juggled and I'm very hard to land. Pichu just goes off stage, ledge guards me. I can't even get back on stage. Pichu's small enough where he could just sit in the middle of my body where there's no hitbox, spike me. It's rough for me to hit Pichu. Pichu can low profile all of my projectiles. Pichu can rush in and with just about everything, full game, whatever. Off stage, Pichu just has much better recovery, could take me out pretty easily. I can't think of a bad thing Pichu could do against me other than sit around and wait. If Pichu sits back too far and just racks up too much of a percent, yeah, I'm gonna kill him with like up air or something. But up air, nair, like something quick, easy that can kill good. That's like the only way I'm getting out of that mess. Otherwise, for the most part, it's just this is the game plan. All right. Now, Mega Man. Now, Mega Man sits up on this list because Leaf Shield blocks all my projectiles. That's already pretty strong as is. We could talk about all the basic stuff of Mega Man, but what really takes me out is Mega Man has some of the most insane combo game in this game with some of the best projectiles on top of that. So I can't get in. Maybe I could play a bit patiently with Chain, just maybe. But even then, he could do stuff off that. He could do stuff just in general. If he just hits you, it works. You know, it's very tough for Toon Link to go up against Mega Man. Now, granted, I don't have enough Mega Man experience to fully talk on that. Just anytime I fight a Mega Man, it always just feels I'm in a losing match where even his pellets block my stuff. Like, what do I do? Like, the only thing I really have on him is Chain. And even then, he's heavy, so he doesn't start going into tech scenarios until much later. So I'm stuck trying to chip in damage, or damage just isn't going to be made. Granted, I have some boxing game on him, however, he just has projectiles for boxing, so what do I do? It's rough. That one's a rough one. What would I say is up here compared to the rest? Yes, I would. Because it's hard, you can't really play patient on him. Because he does all your projectiles, he doesn't damage himself with his projectiles, unlike Pichu. That's the only reason why Pichu sits back here, is because if I sit patiently with Pichu, Pichu's going to damage himself the whole time, and then I can get in and do stuff. But with Mega Man, No, there's no outweighting Mega Man. You have to figure out how to get in on Mega Man, and if you don't, you die. Like, it's just that's at least how it feels. Now, well, why is Mewtwo up here? Mewtwo's probably more like 3070. I don't know why Mewtwo's sitting up here, but I'll work with it. Min Min outbeats all my projectiles again. Deals a whole ton of damage, has great combo game. Once again, I can't chain space her because she just hits me. Like, what chain? No, actually, she just smash attacked in air. I'm sorry, you lose. Like, I can't get in. I can't, because her whole game is for me to stay away, and that is just what she's good at. She's good at keeping you away from her the whole time. The only time I really have her is if I got in, get a combo off, and keep her juggled. Even then, she could try to down air, and that's like the only time I can keep her juggled for that. But if she whiffs it and does a nair instead, like, or not whiffs, but if she fakes it and does a nair instead, or tries to fastball nair, I don't even know what to do. Other than shield, and then after that, I'm pretty sure Min Min has enough landing light, or enough, not, has little enough landing light to like grab me right after. Like, it's just, it is a tough matchup. Very tough matchup. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna move Mewtwo. I apologize. I did not mean for him to be up here. I will put him down here. I'll put him next to Hallmark, because Mewtwo, while I can outbeat his projectile, he has this amazing reflect, command grab, all the above that could do a lot. He can his shield stun and stuff. It's just, I have very little experience on Mewtwo is what I really think it is. I think he could be even lower on this list. I'm going to keep him here, though. I think he sits fine next to Inkling. Because, yes, I beat his projectiles. Yes, I beat most of his stuff. And his tail is a hitbox and stuff. However, there's times where I feel outranged by Mewtwo. It's very difficult for me to get in on Mewtwo range-wise and stuff. And I don't quite know how to play around that just yet. I'm sure I will change my mind the more I fight Mewtwo, but you rarely see them, and they just are a big issue. Sorry for the bonus 3070. Back on forward. Mario sits perfectly comfortable on this list. Mario is just one of those characters where if I get juggled, like, Toon Link's biggest issue is landing, and Mario is all about keeping you in the air the entire time. So Mario has some great combo potential on Toon Link. Has fireball and stuff to get through that bounce over my projectiles, so I can't fireball all too much. Even if I do, he has reflector. He has cape, which just reflects it right back. So I kind of play with bomb and just, you know, do this little dance with Mario. But if I box with Mario without bomb, I lose. So I kind of have to have bomb at all times. And if I get caught off guard without bomb, it's a rough time. And I can't just sit back. I have to approach, and that's what Mario wants me to do. It's this whole song and dance around the two. While I can block his fireballs and stuff, I have to have like bomb majority of the time, so I can't just sit around with a projectile. It's just, it's a rough time. That one I think is rougher than Min Min. Min Min's rough, but Mario is just, I still don't know how to play against Mario exactly, just because I lose the boxing match and I lose the projectile game, and I lose. The only thing I really win is aerials with Zaire, and that's about it. I kind of have to play around that I have that tool and he doesn't. So that's why Mario sits here on the list. Hero technically could sit 50-50 or 10-90. There is no in between. And the only reason why Hero sits in 1090 is because we're just going to assume he got bounced the moment he pushed down B. If he gets bounced, half of my game just went down the drain, and I now have to approach Hero. And if he gets a Celigore or any of his other buffs, it's over. It can be a rough time the moment he starts getting those buffs up quickly, and I have to approach. And anytime he pulls up that down B, I have to approach. The Grant, I could play safe against it. It's not like it's end all be all. I still have Chain that I can outspace him with and stuff. And as long as I shield a majority of his moves, it's fine. However, he gets psych up and he gets oomph and stuff, and I'm not there in time to stop him. It could be game over just then and there. I have to play a rushdown character without a rushdown character. It's a hard time. It's a very hard time. So that's why I put him at 1090. Like, moment bounce comes out, I have to play a whole different game because I can no longer hit him into confirms other than just chain or landing with Nair, which is just a bad case on Hero. Granted, Hero doesn't have an up smash. He still's got a lot in his kit he can work with, so it's rough. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic, my man, I think we all know why. I think we all do. It's not necessarily that I can't hit him with projectiles. It's not necessarily that I can hit him with up air, hit him with any of my moves. It's not like I get outspaced. It's because Sonic can stall in a corner and I have to approach him and get punished. Like, there's just no way around it. That's just how he plays. He plays the super stally, slow pace game that I wish Sonic didn't play. But unfortunately, it's just his game style in this. And if he combos you, it's off stage, you're dead. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I don't know what else to say. I think we all have talked about Sonic enough that he sits on this list. Now, here's one that might be a little bit of a surprise, is that Steve is not at the top of this list. Now, is Steve a good character? Absolutely. He's probably, well, I'm not saying probably, he is the best character in the game. Let's not take that off for much. Yes, he can stop any of the impact of any of my smash attacks and stuff by placing a block and canceling out his own momentum. Yes, he can tech a bunch of stuff and full combo me with doing infinite footstools and stuff with blocks and kill me on the spot. Yes. Yes, he can stall, sit in a wall, and keep throwing a bunch of stuff. Or keep setting up a bunch of stuff. But there is one thing Steve still has to do against me. And that's approach. That is like, I am in best case scenario against Steve because he still has to try to come at me. Granted, he has one of the best things to do that with, which is minecart. Especially redstone minecart can be very problematic. However, I can play around that. That's like the only thing I really have to play around. Otherwise, it's pretty much catch him in a combo, do a combo for a bit, wait for him to try to do some resets, snazzy stuff, get back into neutral, let him do his mining and stuff while I slowly try to chip at him. Because I can break those blocks and stuff pretty easily for the most part. Just play around him is what I have to do. But it's not like I can't, it's not like I cannot approach him, it's not like I have to approach him like physically. I just have to be there as pressure against the walls and stuff and keep him trying to hold at bay, just gathering resources and stuff to fight me. But if I can probably get some chip damage in through that, and if I just play it safe with chain, keep my distance, don't rush in, it's not the end of the world against Steve. Granted, will my recovery get gimped? Yes. Will he be able to use minecart all the time? Yes. Is he probably going to have diamonds just because I have to play the slower game? Yes. So those three are going to be major issues. Even if he doesn't have diamond and has wood, it's still going to be a major issue. I still have to play around the fact that it's Steve, but it's not impossible, and it's not that hard. Or it's not that it's not that hard. It's not impossible, and it's not a game that's completely unwinnable because it's Steve. It's just tough. It's much of the rest of the top characters here. Pikachu, I think we all know why. He's a very patient game where he could throw Pika Jolts and stuff at you, play around those, and then he can rush you down if he needs to. And if he doesn't want to rush you down, just play the patient game. He could do that. Yada yada. We've talked about Pikachu since 2017. I don't want to keep talking about him. So, yes, he sits on this list, and he does sit above Steve. And the reason why he sits above Steve because he makes me have to approach him. Palutena, same thing, yada yada. We've talked about her and nerfed her 5 billion times. She still does the same strat ever since day one. So, cool. Yada yada. Game & Watch. I think we all know why Game & Watch is up here, just because he just has good moves. Good moves. He's got the best out of shield option in the game where Link has to attack shield against Game & Watch. And he has the best out of shield thing. And Toon Link's biggest weakness is going against shield. I love this game. Anyways, Rob, I don't even think I need to talk about Rob. He's got a reflector. He can go in. He can do some heavy combos. His gyroid beats all my projectiles anyways. I can't pick up his gyroid without getting hit. Even if I really want to space it properly and perfectly pick it up, that's just enough time for Rob to already be on my face anyways and just beating me up. But anyways, we all know why these characters are up here. So now we're going to move into what is pretty obvious, but I feel I can give a bit more explanation why I feel like they're higher. We have Fox McCloud. Fox McCloud is a rushdown character with a reflector who can get in quickly, deal a lot of damage very quickly, get full combo off Toon Link, keep him juggled in the air, and kill him. There is very little counter game Toon Link can do against this other than Zair. And if even then, Zair I think is just too slow against Fox for me to actually do anything with. And so Fox sits very high in this list because he is faster than the majority of these characters, can reflect all my projectiles. He is pretty much the counter game to any zoner in the world. That is why he sits this high on the list. Because anything I do, I can't really play around other than Chain, and even then Chain is just a little too slow against Fox. And even then, shield game and stuff, he can space very well. In fact, he could space so well that if he hits shield, he doesn't get hit by up B or anything I do out of shield. So it is very, very difficult to take on Fox. Wolf, pretty much the same thing, except rather than rushing me down, I play his game now, and I'm stuck now having to approach him with he has the best projectile in the game. It goes through all of my projectiles, and I didn't know that they have a thing for that called like transient or something like that. They have a terminology for his projectile that just means it goes through all projectiles, and I didn't know that. I didn't know it went through all projectiles. I knew it stopped my stuff. I didn't know it went through. It's pretty crazy. It's a crazy projectile. I can't get through it, so that means I have to approach. It means I have to approach with an aerial, which Wolf has better aerials. I could try chaining. Wolf can pretty much counterplay that. I can try recovering. Wolf has a side B that spikes me. Wolf has everything that spikes me. So off game I lose, on game I lose, and obviously I can't use projectiles in general. Even if I get past Blaster with a projectile, he reflects it. So it's just, I have to play his game, and I have to play it very carefully, even if I want a chance to win. Now, can some wolves be too aggressive and jump in too quickly? Absolutely. And I have a perfect video on that very much demonstrated what happens when a wolf's too aggressive. Like, I have my video on my main channel absolutely proves that. But no, Wolf inherently with all of his kit is just designed to force Toon Link to approach, which we've already talked about how bad that is for Toon Link. And it's not just approach, it's approach with an aerial, which is very difficult for Toon Link to do. He has to basically hit chain, and that's it. And even then, Wolf can shield chain pretty easily. So, what do I do? If I go in with Nair, I get hard punished. If I go in with anything else, he also can kill quickly, keep me juggled pretty easily. I think we know why Wolf's there. Joker from Persona 5, sitting at the very top. Actually, what happened to my music? Oh my god, we've been going for over an hour and a half. Oh, that's crazy. Alright. But yes, Joker sits at the very top of this list. Or the very bottom, however you want to look at it. It is simply a matchup that I almost have a 0% chance of winning. I can't zone him. He's bait and punish, so I have to approach him. And if I mess up a move, he is so fast, he can go beyond what I can do out of shield and go for a full combo punish and pretty much catch me off stage. And because I'm too light and too floaty, I can't get back on stage without trying to maneuver around B reversed arrows. Even then, it's a struggle. I could try eye bombing. Even that's a struggle. Plus, even if I hit him with the projectile, he's going to push down B, get free Arsene off that, and then I'm in an even worse position than before. And if I try to recover, it's free Arsene for him. If I try to get back on stage, it's free Arsene. Like, there's just, like, recovery is not an option. And if he already has Arsene, recovery is death. Like, there's just no getting back up unless I have chain. And even then, drops down spikes me. Like, there's just nothing I can do off stage against Joker, especially with Arsene. Off Arsene, I have to only play chain, and basically he's just gonna get me down below with guns. Like, I don't know what to do. That one's a hard matchup. It practically sits under 10%, honestly. It sits more closer to like 5%, if not less. Like, against a good Joker, even online, with Joker not having all of his true combos and stuff, it's just a tough matchup. So, all right, I've been doing this for an hour and 40. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. In fact, if you guys want a cleaner picture of this, actually, you know, I could just keep it like this for a moment. If you guys want the screenshot of that, go ahead. If you want to compare that, like if you have anything, obviously you can argue with me on any of these. I take arguments very well. I, in fact, like it when I'm being counterpicked and stuff. Like talking about Pokemon Trainer, yes, there are times where Pokemon Trainer probably could whoop Toon Link. I would not doubt it. That's just my personal opinion. That's what most of these tier lists are anyways. They're personal opinions. But yeah. Thank you so much for watching for those on stream, and thank you YouTube if you managed to catch in on this. Thanks for watching. I'm a little over time here, so I gotta get going now. So I'll see you all later. Bye bye.